Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Tranquil Waters by Stevie. 1.0.0.7. Oh yeah, the latest and greatest. So since we last got together, happy Thursday, by the way. Hope things are going well for you. You know, here in the satellite office of RQS Gaming in West Michigan, we are finally getting our winter weather. I'm looking outside right now saying, you know, I'm already ready for spring. Can't wait for that to come around again. Wow. We're supposed to get hammered this weekend with some weather. We're talking foot, maybe they're talking maybe a foot and a half, 2 feet, depending on how close you are to the big old Lake Michigan. It's always that lake effect snow. I don't really understand how that works necessarily. It must have something to do with moisture coming up from the lake. But the further you are away from the lake, usually the little less you get. But nature is nature, and it'll do what it wants. But you know what? That's not what we're here to do. We're here to do some harvesting. I did finish up our Triticale harvest. We ended up with just a little over 700,000 liters of Triticale, 722 and some odd change. So yeah, I think we're going to do pretty well there as far as money goes. We have got a wheat field and I believe a barley field left to do here in September. Our John Deere is looking a little bit dirty. It's looking a little bit naughty, a little dirty. That's okay. It's okay. I think they run better when they're dirty. I went ahead. Ooh, I thought I was going to be able to land it. I almost thought I landed that one. Apparently there's no collision. Oh, come on. I want to climb the ladder. All right. Good enough. But yeah, we're going to get straight to it. Let's just take a quick peek at something. There's our Triticale, 722,068 liters. Not too shabby. If we do end up getting close to the high of around 1,200 per thousand, we should definitely make some decent pocket change from that stuff. That's for sure. I forgot we had that onion sitting there. Onion's going to be a cash crop for us too. We don't need that to go anywhere else, I don't think. So that's going to be decent. Not as much money for onion. Did we use I don't think we used onion, did we, for any of the pig food? I don't think the pig food took onion. I don't think pigs like onions. I don't think so. All right, let's get started. Let's see if we can make this happen. But yeah, we're starting to see empty fields here on Tranquil Waters, and we are not going to be plowing or cultivating or doing anything else. We're on episode... This is 93, I think. And we are going to just leave them be because we are going to be moving on shortly. I am excited about that. How are we lined up here? I can't see that blue line very well. Oh, it's way over there? Oh, we can move that baby over. Let's see if I can. Let's shift over a bit. Keep going, keep going. Right about there should work, I think. Let's lock that in and get lined up. So I have been doing some planning for our next Let's Play. Just been checking out what's available. I kind of have ideas. You know, I thought that I'm waiting. I was kind of hoping and it would be out by now, but Lancey Boy is supposed to be, excuse me as I take a small puff of my adult stogie. Lancey Boy is supposed to be, or is done with, updates to American Falls. And what's his other one? I forget what that other one's called now. It slips my mind. Stone Valley? Is it Stone Valley? He's supposed to be done with those, and I'm thinking he probably has given them to Giants. to go over, and they just haven't posted them yet. That's my guess. I should look on the pending mod. Do they list in the pending mods? Do they list updates as well, or just new mods? I should look at that list and see if they're on there or not. We're not gonna make too. Should I be doing straw? Nah, let's not worry about straw. I was gonna say, looks like I have straw swathing turned off, but you know what? We're not gonna worry about straw swathing. Does that bother you? Yeah. We don't need it. Oh, speaking of straw swathing. I like the looks of it when it doesn't swath. I actually kind of like the looks of how, you know, of how it shoots the straw. It's always very pleasing. It's very pleasing. It's a lot of straw coming out the butt of this thing. Ooh, Brad, you just missed that. You know, this John Deere has some seriously nice LED lights. What was I gonna say? What was I saying? What was I thinking? Oh, straw swathing. So, as you know, we did straw swathing. Is it swathing or swathing? I think it's swathing. Swathing, yeah. I guess you could do it either way. It's like grease. Greasing or greasing. I was watching some, I don't know what channel it was, but it was on YouTube, and this lady was making, because I was updating my cornbread recipe. I've been playing around with a couple different cornbread recipes. And of course, who you're going to go to if you're looking for a really good cornbread recipe, right? Somebody from the South, you know. And honestly, I don't trust thin cooks. Especially if they're giving me recipes for stuff that, like cornbread, it just seems like a good cornbread recipe should come from a fairly sizable cook. But anyways, she said that you needed to grease the pan really well. Grease the pan, and I don't know why, I just chuckle. That makes me chuckle. Grease. It's like, how you spell that? Is that with a Z? Do you grease it? Needless to say, I've been happy with my existing cornbread. I have not been able to really advance my cornbread recipe yet at this point, but oh well, it is what it is. I've even tried, like, quote-unquote better quality ingredients. I can't taste the difference at all. I can go with the store brand, you know, that generic brand. I go with like a generic brand flour and a generic brand is it baking powder, baking soda. I can never tell. I can't tell any taste difference. You know, just save the money and go with the generics. Now, as far as the cornmeal goes, that's an interesting little conundrum I've got going, because I usually just buy the old Quaker. You know, that's in like the round, like an oatmeal can kind of thing. The Quaker cornmeal. That's kind of been my go-to, but believe it or not, they were out of it, which I don't know how you sell out of cornmeal, but I guess you can sell out of anything these days. So I had to go with this more expensive elite brand. Non-GMO, harvested with, you know, electric, with non-diesel or gasoline. I don't know, just all kinds of stupidness. You know, whatever they want to say is supposed to make it better. I don't know. Harvested with love. Unlike the other brands that are harvested with hate. This brand's cornmeal was harvested with love. And again, flavor-wise, I don't know. I couldn't tell a difference. It was $1 more, and it came in a bag, a resealable bag instead of the old Quaker can thing. And it was a medium grind. I think it might have had a different grind to it. I think it had a little bit coarser grind. Because my cornmeal, or my cornbread, felt like it was a little bit more, I say gritty, but that sounds really bad. It just felt coarser. It was good. It still was, the flavor was there. It's just, I'm not sure I actually liked it as much, you know. Then you've got flour. You got the standard of flour, the gold medal flour, the standard behind flour. I can't tell any difference between that and the generics. I'm gonna try and sneak a little beverage. I did get a pop filter. Pop. Picked one up off of Amazon. Of course, it arrived on the day that the weather was pretty sucky. Apparently, Amazon has the same idea as the United States Postal Service, where come rain, snow, sleet, or hail, Amazon will deliver your package. We're just going to do a quick swath here of, I don't want to do too much just because I've got a good rhythm going right now with our unloading station. I should have done a full headland all the way around, maybe, especially right along here where the traffic is. Our little John Deere was getting stuck a lot with our Triticale. Courseplay, I would love if Courseplay would have a setting where at the end of the I don't know what you call it, the lane or whatever, the row that it harvests, that if you're doing straw swaths, that it would not just sit there in the same spot and make these massive pyramids of straw, that it would have some intelligence to kind of reverse as it's unloading the straw. Or I thought, and I was thinking about this, and it occurred to me that I thought I remembered, maybe it's the AI that does this and not Courseplay, which is quite possible. But I seem to remember that it used to just go straight on, and you'd get these straw swaths that went kind of off your field a little bit, you know? Which really is kind of better than building up these massive pyramids, because I was constantly having to go over and tow. I was constantly having to go over and tow our little gizmo, our harvester, I guess that's what you call it, off these mounds of straw. But my decision to pick up the straw over at our Triticale field was made for us, because when I finished, seriously, when I finished harvesting, okay, when I finished harvesting, there was a good deal of, you know, I thought, well, you know what, I saved the course. I'll just send over a worker with our 1,000,000-liter trailer and let them just start working on it. It's not a big deal. But I saved the game, I left the game, went back into the game. I went over to our field to pick up the harvester and to get set up for straw. And I watched, and this had happened to me before, but I thought it happened to me on a contract. But I sat there and I could see, and I watched the straw just disappear right in front of my eyes, and it was gone. The straw was gone. All of the windrows, I could just watch it just chunk, 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 chunk. So I don't know what that's all about. I think there's a couple mods that need some updating. And I'm going to, on our next Let's Play, I am going to, well, just by the nature of it, we're not going to have as many mods going on our next Let's Play. Significantly less mods, actually. But I am going to purposely leave off some mods that are kind of game-changing mods. Script mods, for the most part, is what they probably are. And I'm just going to kind of leave some of those off. I think some of them are dealing with some issues, with some out-of-date issues. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm feeling that way. And the one that I think is impacting, oh, come on, stay straight. See, you didn't need to do that. Oh, well. The one that I think is impacting the straw swaths, or the straw windrows, seems to me like it would be that pickup straw. I think it's called pickup straw contracts or something like that, on contracts. And that's exactly what it does. It allows you to collect the straw that is made when you have contracts that create straw, because typically you're not allowed to do that. But methinks it might be causing some problems. Looking at other mods to kind of that might assist me in what I want to get done for this next play. There's a, have any of you used the, I think it's called the Better Loan mod? It's something to do with loans, that adjusts how loans are handled in the game. I'm gonna have to check that one out. That one intrigues me. I'm not particularly looking for mods that just will make my life more difficult, as much as maybe if they do make it more difficult in the process, that's fine. But maybe give it a little bit, you know, maybe make some things that I don't want to give myself any advantages for this next Let's Play. Let's put it that way. Even if it's just base game, I don't want to give myself any advantages. The one thing I thought of that the game likes to do, and I'm not sure, and I understand why it does this. I do understand why it does it, but forget who I was watching. I forget who I was watching was commenting on this actually, how if you buy, you buy a field, and let's say it's, I don't know that I've ever turned around and sold a field, honestly. If I have, I can't remember ever doing it. That's just never anything I ever feel like I need to do. Is once I own a field, I pretty much just figure I'm going to own it for the rest of the time I play. If I ever do sell a field, it's in a situation where, I am doing a wholesale on my equipment and land and everything, at the end of the Let's Play, and I want to see how much value I have. Maybe that's maybe part of doing that, if I can talk. But otherwise, I really never sell fields that I buy. Do you guys ever sell your fields once you buy them? Do you ever strategically or not, do you ever sell them for any reason? But I know the game penalizes you, or as my grandpa would say, penalizes you. I guess that almost makes sense. Penalized. Because you don't go to if you get convicted of a crime, you don't go into the penal system, you go into the penal system, right? So I guess it is penalized, but then in sports you're penalized. I don't know, it's weird. It's like Uranus and Uranus. But yeah, we won't get into that one too much. But I just never do that. I never sell my fields. But most certainly in real life, unless something horrible has happened, either to the economy or to the land that you owned, or you made a really, really horrible purchasing decision, normally you're not going to lose half the value of your property, I mean, I've seen situations where property values may go down, but half is a lot. But I kind of understand the game, Giants doesn't want you, they don't want you, my assumption is they don't want you buying land that's been seeded, buy the land, harvest it, and then sell it for the same amount that you paid for it, and just repeat the process, because the AI is always going to go through the process of reseeding empty or land that you don't own. At least they're supposed to, right? So I can see it kind of being an anti-cheat or an anti, easy money thing. But there's other ways in this game that you can definitely cheat money if you wanted to, that to me that are a lot easier than going through the labor of buying fields, harvesting them, and selling them again. I think we're gonna kick this row off. We might hop in the John Deere and do some karting. Of course, I have a bad feeling about how the AI is going to handle that strip right there that's by the road. My guess is they're not going to handle it very well. Picked up Firewatch. Have you guys ever played Firewatch? I think it's called. It's on sale on Steam right now for like $2. It's been out for a few years. It's nothing new. And I played through it quite a while ago. I played through it. Any traffic? And I quite enjoyed it. It was quite a fun game. And I saw that it was on sale for like $2. So I picked it up. Thought I might play through it again. Every once in a while, those games come along that are super cheap on Steam, and I just, you know, for that kind of money, I can't help but add them to my library. And I don't really think I have a very large Steam library compared to some people. I've got some friends whose Steam libraries are like hundreds of games. I should actually look and see what my count is. I don't think it's... I don't know. I'd be kind of surprised if it... Well, I don't know. I might have 100 games in there. I might have a little over 100 games. But I've got buddies that are multiple times that. And I think a lot of the games there... The older ones I picked up. I can't remember the site now off the top of my head for some reason, but you know, when you could buy them in packages, you know, you could buy, hey, these 5 games for $20 or whatever. Once in a while, I'll buy a studio bundle. It depends. Not very often, but it obviously depends on what it is. But occasionally, if Steam has a really good deal on a studio bundle, like you know, if they're, you know, pick up everything by this company. And if it's a good price, I'll sometimes do that. I've learned my lesson though, not to pick up bundles that include previous versions of the game, because the previous versions of the game are never as good. They're just never as good. Whoa, where you going, Mr. JD? I can't wait to see how the AI handles this. Oh, that actually was kind of my bad. I must say, it's kind of my bad. Look at that. That red van is very nervous. Very nervous. And I've tried to do it. I've tried to go back and play a previous version of a game. If I play a game for the first time and I love it, it'd be like with Farming Simulator. If this version of Farming Simulator was the first version I ever played and I really fell in love with it, I wouldn't want to go back and play FS19 or FS17. Maybe a little bit just for curiosity's sake, but previous versions are rarely better. Maybe they're better with one thing. Maybe there's something that, you know, they do and you're like, oh man, I really wish they wouldn't have taken that out of the new version. But normally, for the most part, once I play a particular version of a game, if it's the first time I've played that game, it's always been a mistake to go back. Assassin's Creed, perfect example for me. I think the first time I played Assassin's Creed was number 2, and I fell in love with playing Assassin's Creed, and I'm like, I finished it, and I did everything with it. I mean, I got all the feathers or whatever there were to find, the whole 9 yards, and I'm like, you know what? The original Assassin's Creed is cheap. I'm going to pick it up and I'll play through that. It was okay, but it didn't have the same, feel or enjoyment. I've thought about going and I've actually thought about playing a little bit of FS19, just because I skipped it. I played maybe 3 hours on FS19, and so most of my memories were from 17, and I've thought about going back and playing some 19 just to see, just to remind myself or you know, just to get a feel for how much changed between 19 and 22, and if I'm being fair by being a little critical of the lack of innovation in the game between 19 and 22. But after this field, like I said, I think we've got a barley field right over there. Basically, this the twin of this field. And then we should be... I think that's going to wrap it up for September, I think. If I'm not mistaken, I believe... That's our alfalfa field. I guess we could do that, but we really don't have a need towards the end of the game here. We really don't have a need to get grass or alfalfa, so I'm not really going to worry about that. But yeah, that's going to take care of September for us. And I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode as well. Thanks, everyone, for joining in. I appreciate it. It's great to have you back again. Have a great and safe Thursday. Look forward to Friday, just around the corner. We'll be back here in Tranquil Waters to continue the final days of Tranquil Waters as we get this map tidied up, wrapped up, and move on to our next adventure. But you all take care of yourselves. Thanks again. Feel free to like the video if you did. I'd appreciate that. Subscribe or join the channel. Check out our Discord. And I'll see you all real soon. Bye for now.